What's good, my Mana Society? It is your host with the most, Shadow Loke, back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and are subscribed to the channel. It's absolutely free. That is how you help my channel get into the algorithm. Highly appreciate if you go ahead and do that. Now, what I wanted to talk about today was actually a question and something that I get asked a lot, right? And it gets brought to my attention. And that's knowing your California laws. Knowing your laws, right? Knowing what you can do, what you can't do, what you could say, what you can't say. Very important. You want to be breaking the law, at least know your law, right? But it's something that people don't take the time to study or even look up or educate themselves on, right? So they could only go based off of what they see in movies or hear in a song or maybe something that they heard from an older person, and they run with it like if it's facts, right? When a lot of people make up stuff and speculate, and speculation is never facts, right? Which is one of the things that people say is that this generation is dumb, right? How they throw other stuff out there and put themselves out there, that's not real gangsters, and real gangsters don't do that, and that's going to get them caught up, and etc. Right now, when you're putting stuff out there, like when they put pictures, videos, and stuff like that, when you're doing crime, when you're committing crime, and recording yourself is the most stupidest thing you can do, right? For, I mean, the obvious reasons. But it's not something that's new, or it's not something that when people say like that's a burn, they're burning themselves by putting pictures out there or putting videos out there. Like, oh, okay, yeah, that's burning themselves. Because standing in a corner with 10 other guys, tagging on the walls and everything, that's not burning yourselves. Because that's being low key. Because that's being low pro. Because that's being slick, and, and the way to do it. You know what I mean? It makes no sense. Like, the cops are gonna. You have a greater chance of the cops passing by and seeing you guys, and you guys burning yourself by standing in the corner, than by a law enforcement, stumbling onto your social media. Right? So burning yourself, in what sense? That doesn't make any sense, right? And and another thing is like, they get this, secrecy thing. People get this idea, right? But break down what a gangster does. Everything that a gangster does is far from low key. There's nothing secretive about it. Everybody that they bump into, they hit them up and tell them, where they from, and then they let them know where they're from and who they are. To everybody that's there, they go and get their neighborhoods as big as possible, as much as possible. They get it on their shirts, belts, hats, license plates, everything, bro. They write on the walls, they post up in the area of said gang. So if this group is low key or trying to be low pro, or is not supposed to be putting themselves out there and stuff like that, then they're doing a horrible job, because everything that a gangster does is the complete opposite of that. Right? Everything a gang member does is the opposite of low key, bro. They want people to know where they're from. They want everybody to know where they're from. They're letting people know on a day to day. There is nothing secretive about it. See, people get it confused with these old gangster movies, right? Like these old, like Godfather and the Goodfellas, confusing mobsters, mafiosos, for gangsters when it's not the same thing. This is a criminal enterprise. These individuals had to move that way because they were making money illegally through illegal businesses. So they had to put up a facade for the business. So they couldn't be, having this reputation of being gangsters or belonging to a criminal group. You know what I mean? It will tarnish their business, tarnish their reputation, and burn their connections with high politicians, high, whoever they mingle with. That's the reason it always had to be kept under wraps compared to the chaos that individuals do out there in the streets. It's two different things. It's not the same. Yes, it's all illegal activity, but it's ran different and is done for different reasons. Even though you do have individuals that dabble in that kind of stuff, right? But set activities are not the priority or the reason, the main focus of that, right? Compared to this, that's what it is. That's the reason why you don't see these old Italians, whatever, tagging on walls and, getting it tattooed on them. Right? because they had to run a business and had to, keep up these connections with these, important people who are not going to be seen, hanging around thugs. You get what I mean? So people just grab that and confused it or blurred the lines themselves, right? Like, oh, this is how they're supposed to move, you know? When it's like you can't throw all of that shit in the same basket and cartels, mafias, gangs, they're all different things. Move different, right? It'll be stupid to try to apply, you know, this set of rules to all gangs when that's not how it works, right? Now, knowing your laws, like when people say, well, why do they take these pictures or why do they confiscate this and that, like, um, isn't that evidence to get them busted? No. The only reason why they confiscate all that stuff, right, is because when they take you to trial, they still have to convince the jury that you're guilty of the things that they're saying that you are. How do the jury doesn't know you? How do they know that you're really a gangster just because the cop says so? Like, the cop could be lying. They have to prove this to the jury. This is where all this stuff comes into place. They show the pictures to let them know, look, he is a gang member from this gang. Look at his friends. And look, this is the kind of people he rolls with in the activity. It's to paint a picture of you in a certain way. Not to fucking, this is the evidence that they're going to use to slam you down. Taking pictures with your friends. Even if it is a gang. It's not against the law. You get what I mean? Now, taking pictures of, illegal activity happening, that's against the law. And yes, that is evidence. You know what I mean? Like you guys shooting somebody or stabbing somebody or anything like that, right? Yes. Or, selling drugs or, all these drugs, It could, that won't be used, like, let's say, to book you right there and then, right? But it could be used to start an investigation, right? To look into other matters. That's why it's not good to take pictures like that, period, right? Those kind of pictures. That's actually reckless. Like, I don't see, a homie in the right state of mind, allowing, that kind of shit to happen. That's just stuff you don't do. Now, flossing firearms is not the smartest idea either in pictures, right? Because even though, let's say the cops don't find the gun, if you're holding a gun in the picture, right, and if there's a witness that could, describe the kind of gun that they seen you with, and in that picture you're holding that type of gun, and the bullets retrieved from the crime scene happen to be from the caliber that you're holding in that picture, even though they don't have the gun, they could potentially use that to, seal the deal. They don't need the murder weapon, right? This is good enough. Now, they'll want to get more evidence. They'll actually want the actual weapon, right? But they could try to, reach and maybe, this would work if they can't really find it. But like I said, when they take your ass to trial, bro, they come ready, bro. So, no prosecutor will actually really want to use that, right? Because they feel like it's not really like good evidence, right? But nonetheless, if that's all they have, then they'll reach, right? But that's like if you're holding a firearm or something like that, right? But that's the only reason why you can't, they can't take you over for like having, pictures with people that right? Or for writing on a piece of paper. But they confiscate that to let people know, look, this is the kind of activities he's in, and we caught him with this and that, showing that he is in affiliation with this and that. It's to paint you like a bad guy. That way the jury sees that you're a bad guy. That way everything that now they're saying that you're guilty of, people would most likely believe it now if they know that you dabbled in these kind of activities. Because like I said, the jury doesn't know you. So, they don't know the cops. They could be lying. So that's, that's the game, right? So that's why that stuff is used. It's not used to, bam, it's against the law, right? But people don't know this stuff, so they automatically assume, and think this and that. And like I said, if your pad's already getting raided and shit like that, then gang enhancement should be that should be the last thing on your mind, bro. Like, your goose is cooked pretty much, bro. If they're already raiding your pad, then, you know what I mean? Then, they already have, enough to dick you over. That's the reason why the raids are being done. You know, so gang enhancements are gonna come regardless. You know, if you like it or not, they're gonna put them, even if you try to deny, you know, membership. You know what I mean? Because there's informants, there's rats, there's different, you know, things that play a role. So burning yourself is you know, a dumb thing when people come on the internet and say that kind of stuff, right? If you're doing illegal activity, like you're filming a video of you guys in the area where you're doing illegal activity, you're doing shit like that, I don't recommend you do, because the cops could arrest you for that kind of stuff. For old ass pictures, no. But for ongoing shit, like, yes, look, these individuals are committing criminal activity, and look, here's evidence of them hanging out right here where they do criminal activity. That's why it's not good to do that, post that kind of stuff. You know? Ongoing stuff or current stuff. Right? Like, let's say hanging out in set place that you have no reason of why there to be there. But overall, that's just a breakdown, you know, because like I said, a lot of people like to assume and, you know, try to pass off speculations as facts when you got to know your California laws, bro. But I'm just saying, it's my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Leave it in the comments. Shadow, we out.